Emmanuel.
Okay, Child Faith, I've put this off too long for you, haven't I? The story of Ammon in the Book of Mormon, in the learning of the Jews. The first thing we need to start off with is Ammon is in the Bible. It's a Bible name. It's the name of Benjamin, the last son of Jacob, who became Israel. Let God prevail. Oh, dear God. So, yeah, that's why I pursued an education in the ancient world and ancient languages, is because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which claimed to have all the answers for us, didn't have the answers for us. And so I had to go out and search for it, and found it, and I became it. And now the church wants me dead. Dear God. I haven't, no clearance for me. No angel clearance, just trying to get his wings. Apparently all the angels have their wings, and so there's nobody that can be put on assignment for me. So, anyway, yeah, it's among the list of movies that I have to have in my collection, but can never watch. Because there's not enough Kleenex in the world for me to handle it. So, anyway, Genesis chapter 19, verse 38. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon to this day. Well, that's a different son. That's Lot. Thus, we're both the daughters of Lot. So, yeah, we got... hold on. This is Lot's son. This is son Ammon, by the way. Lot, son Ammon. It's an Exodus, latter-day Exodus parable thing also. Rookie error, and I fell for it. Unbelievable. $35. Okay, there we go. So let's check out Benjamin. I think it's going to have the Yod for Yah in there instead. Blue Letter Bible. Because somewhere in those boxes is my stuff. Genesis 35. Going to be down in the right measure. 18. Okay. Westminster Leningrad Codex. Yeah, it's the Yod. Which is similar, it's just a different god at the beginning as the prefix determinative in Paleo-Hebrew. And so instead of the sun god, Ammon, it's the Yah of of the Hebrews. So yeah, the actual Yah, seriously? So the other Ammon is Lot's son, and it's significant because most people think this is literal history and therefore creepy or racist by the Jew who wrote this. Because if it's literal history and he's actually talking about the origin of the certain group of people, the children of Ammon and the Moabites. If you are unfamiliar with the story, Lot's wife turns back to Salt Lake City and becomes a pillar of the Great Salt Lake. And so Lot and his daughters of Zion are the ones who go to the promised land in southern Illinois. I'm giving you the wrong decoder story, aren't I? And they then get him drunk and rape Lot, their father, and have the two Moabites and children of Ammon, which is Ammon, a direct phonetic transliteration from the Egyptian sun god Ra. Yeah, just need to keep on drinking. Mountain Dew, the dew of the gods. And so in other books of the Torah, the children of Ammon are also mentioned. And even in Joshua, I believe Jesus destroys the children of Ammon, the sons of God. Jesus destroys the sons of God. Though I think there was supposed to be yeah, they do make him the enemy in Judges. And again, the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord and served Baalim, Ashtaroth, and the gods of Syria, and the gods of Zidon, and the gods of Moab, and the gods of the children of Ammon, and the gods of the Philistines, and forsook the Lord and served not him. But again, you got to remember, this is a different author. He's telling a different story of the latter days. So let's get to the book of the Mormonskis. Okay, there's Isaiah's prophecy of Edom and Moab and the children of Ammon. Interesting. This happen anytime now. In the coming days. There it is. Isaiah prophecy, another one yet to be fulfilled. All right. Here's a different Ammon, one mighty and strong, descendant of Zarahemla, was the leader of a group that was sent by King Mosiah to find out what happened to the people in the land of Lehi Nephi concerning their brethren. And there's an interesting thing behind Lehi Nephi, because you have to read the whole Book of Mormon through. As I was taking notes of every single instance of geography in the Book of Mormon and mapping it out at the same time, Lehi Nephi is interesting, something to pay attention to, because when you're writing a fiction novel, you got to make sure that everything is. You don't want Harry Potter to put on his tennis shoes. Well, he can have tennis shoes in Harry Potter. In Tolkien's Hobbit, no tennis shoes allowed. Okay, so we want the son of Mosiah named Ammon. So yeah, that's exactly why the Book of Mormon's calling Ammon the one mighty and strong. It's from section 85 in the Doctrine and Covenants. Who is the man like Moses? Who is Emmanuel, which is Ammon, God. God Ammon, Son God at noonday. The Christ of Mormons. Oh, there it is. Mosiah chapter 7. So let's start from the beginning. And now it came to pass that after King Mosiah had had continual peace in the space of 3 years, he was desirous to know concerning the people who went up to dwell in the land of Lehi-Nephi, or in the city of Lehi-Nephi. For his brethren had heard nothing this is the same. Interesting. Who are the sons of Mosiah then? Hold on, let me check. Oh no, this is Limhi. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is, yeah. Yep. This is the ones who encounter Limhi after they've been destroyed because of wicked King Noah. Yep. This isn't the missionary one. But yeah, the same Ammon guy, the one mighty and strong, has a discussion with Limhi about the records they found of the Jaredites, or was it Coriantumr? One of the 5. And then talks about a seer is greater than a prophet. A seer is a prophet, and also blah blah blah. Urim and Thummim, seer stones, all is happy in Zion. Because Mosiah, which is in Hebrew their constructed word, Moses, Yah. Man like Moses, Yah. They constructed that word that way. And so here to have the story of Ammon. Yeah, I haven't just read the Book of Mormon forever. I can't just read anymore. I have to actually study. And so yeah, I lose track of the chronology of things. So we need to get out of Mosiah 7. Well, there it is. Can you interpret languages? Ammon said that he could not. At least not yet. But the great and abominable church claims that they can. They have these records, but they won't translate them. And so Ammon has to do it himself under the name of Moses, Yah. That's how that one's gone. Okay. Discovered Ammon and his brethren, and supposing them to be the priests of Noah. Okay, that's not it either. And 27. Yeah, the sons of Mosiah. Their names were Ammon, Aaron, Omner, and Himni. I know. And so you have father Ammon and son Ammon here. The sons of Mosiah. Moses, Yah, the God Yah, the man like Moses, whose name is Emmanuel, the God Ammon. Father Ammon, son Ammon. It's not just Joseph, son of Joseph. And Child Faith knows and understands the learning of the Jews concerning Messiah ben Joseph and Messiah ben David. Messiah ben David's actual name is Emmanuel. But Messiah ben Joseph, his name is actually Joseph. Joseph Smith. And that's also the pattern with Genesis into Exodus. With Genesis, the Christ figure that prepares the way for the latter-day Christ, who is the man like Moses, is Joseph. Joseph is the hero story of Genesis. He is the Christ figure. And so, yeah, it's Messiah ben Joseph and Messiah ben David. And so, that's why Ezekiel 37, you have the stick of Judah, Messiah ben David, stick of Joseph, Messiah ben Joseph, the sons of Ephraim. Alma 17. Yep. Now Ammon being the chief among them, as he's the firstborn son, he's listed first. The firstborn birthright blessing son, or rather he did administer unto them, and he departed from them, and having blessed them according to their several stations. See, he's already taken on the role of the leader, getting prepared to take over for his father, Mosiah Yah. Moses Yah. And so he goes to the land of Ishmael. So it's Alma 17 where we're starting the story. And this is my favorite story too of the Book of Mormon. Ever since I was a kid, which is weird and coincidental. And so Ishmael is an interesting word as well, because it also has the son letter in it, just as the A is the son letter in Ammon. And so it's not Ishmael, it's because you have to understand they're using the name meaning here on purpose. Genesis 16:11. Okay. I just hope my camera doesn't freeze on me during the middle of this video. Yeah, it's got the Yod, the Yah at the beginning, Shem for name, name of Yah, and then Son with El for God. This is a fascinating thing. The name of Yah is the sun god at noonday, Ammon, but they use the one letter symbol to represent Ammon, and then the god Ammon, the sun god. That's Ishmael. And so this is fascinating to have the sun god go to the name of Yah, the sun god, the land. Okay. Here we are, 19. And the land being named after the sons of the sun god, who became Lamanites. So yes, you need to think in terms of what Joseph Smith is doing with the Book of Abraham, in which he says that the priesthood of the Egyptians was lost because of Ham's, which is Kem, which is the land of Egypt, which means black land, but it's the feminine form rather than the masculine form, which is Ham, the son of Noah. And his son did something to Noah in his tent, getting him drunk, which Joseph Smith clears it up. Apparently, Canaan got his sister Egyptus, daughter of Ham and Egyptus, got her pregnant, and then got Noah in his drunken state to seal them together for time and for all eternity in a covenant and promise. and so then Noah, when he came out of his drunken stupor, cursed Canaan instead of Ham, who saw Noah naked. And so the first Pharaoh comes from their union, their immoral union. And so that's what I'm seeing here is the Egyptian story with the Joseph Smith's Abraham account and the Bible account and the Book of Mormon account here. I see it all being played in together. And so the king is Lamonai, Laman and Lemuel. But it's a different spelling. It's an O instead of A, right? Yeah, Laman. And Laman is also the father of Rachel and Leah that put Jacob into bondage and servitude for forever. 7 years, only to then get Leah, and then another 7 years to then get Rachel, or was there another 7 years also involved in there? He had to be a slave to Laman for a long time. Laman really got him good on that one. And so, yeah, that's, Lamanites. Lamoni, Laman. Yeah, it's right there in the text. Just had to look, Travis. Just had to look. And he was a descendant of Ishmael, obviously. And the king inquired of, the king had Ammon bound and brought to him, as was the custom, to bind all Nephites who fell into their hands, carry them to the king. And then the king says, "Off with his head," or be cast into prison. And so this likewise is taken from these other stories that I'm talking about here. You have to be thinking about all of them at the same time, because he's going back to the homeland. This is the start of the ministry in the latter days. This is the Mormon Christ of the latter days starting his ministry in Utah. And as the custom of the Mormons in Utah, to murder or enslave or imprison Mormons from outside of Utah. That's the custom. I learned it the hard way. Wow, this is so true. Isn't it, Mormons? Book of Mormon is so true. And so, yeah, he's starting his ministry 2017, 23rd September. That's what you're supposed to be understanding here as a Mormon looking for your Christ, searching the scriptures to try to figure out how to identify him and know him. So, yeah, you need to look for your Christ. who is locked up by the Mormons, Danites, because they're Lamanites. They are the evil ones who murdered Joseph. Nephi, the new name of the Latter-day Christ. And so you see the sun god, that Mormons are supposed to be the chosen ones of Joseph Smith's church, but yet they have fallen like the inverted pentagram of Brigham Young. And so, the king, as was the custom, was pleased that Ammon was moving to Utah. And thus he marries one of the Mormon Danites in the valley. And so this you need to refer to the story of Samson, where he marries a woman of the Philistines, and they have the wedding supper feast at the lion house of the beehive house, next to the beehive house. Kills the lion, the carcass, beehive, and the carcass. That becomes the riddle as to his identity and his power. And then his second wife cuts his hair and betrays him to the Philistines. And then 8 April 2024, the fall of the great and abominable church. So yeah, all of these are coming into vision for me here as I'm going over this. And so he doesn't want to take a wife because it's not 8 April 2024 yet. He does take a wife because all the scripture prophecies are all about that. Rachel and Leah, Moses had the Ethiopian, and Ruel, Jethro's daughter. And so yeah, two women are a prominent theme for that reason. Of course, the Danites said it's because of polygamy. It's because of prophecy. And so rejecting the wife in 2017 is because of the same thing Jesus says to his wife in John. She goes to the tomb. Joseph Smith is dead, long dead. Where's Joseph? Where's the restoration of Zion? Oh no. Groundskeeper, where have they taken Joseph Smith's body? Wife, I'm right here. No. Can't have sex yet. Abstinence only until 8 April 2024, when I ascend to my Father with the sign in the heavens. Yeah, that's a retelling here of what that's all about. And so, yeah, sure enough, service of the King, 3 days, 3 solar eclipses, 3 days of darkness. They were going with their flocks to the place of water, which was called Sebus, which is interesting. Beth Sheba, House of Sheba. I'm seeing that in there with King David. And the flocks, the lamb, 8 April 2024 from Revelation 19. The wedding supper feast of the Lamb at the temple. Doctrine and Covenants, section 58. And the Danite Mormons were causing problems and scattering the Mormons and threatening to murder them if they didn't read, ponder, and pray and get the right feeling. Right, James and Jasmine? The king will slay us. Nelson's going to slay us if we don't join the church and pay tribute money. And so Ammon's going, oh dear God, do I have to do everything for you guys? And so yeah, he easily gathered all the sheep together, because YouTube stopped banning his channel from other people's view during conference time. Well, hilarious. And those men that stood together, and he chops off their hands, using the iron rod of the Book of Mormon to confound the Danite Mormons who were going to own Ammon, but instead got owned. And so yes, the David Goliath thing, casting stones at them with his sling. David. And so falling stars, the Perseid meteor showers on Nelson's birthday last year, and then Nelson following on 9/11, and was so humiliated because I did the videos in advance. And then he goes and falls on 9/11. And is so humiliated that he told us 3 weeks later. Hilarious. And so King Lamoni supposes that Ammon is the Great Spirit and teaches about the creation of the earth, and thus the latter days. The creation of the earth is the latter days. I just did the video the other day, yesterday, going over that with you. It's the Heliopolis creation glyph, which is talking about the coming forth of the Egyptian Christ, Horus, or son Ammon, also called. And so the waters are parted and dry land appears, just like in a mother's womb. The baby is engulfed in the waters of the placenta, and the waters break, and the baby comes through onto dry ground and takes the breath of life, and now has full citizenship, except that now apparently sperm has full citizenship, and so if a man masturbates in Alabama, he's now committed murder. Men now have to save their sperm. And women have to preserve all of their eggs through their menstruation cycle. Oh my God. But no, they're wanting to be like the Kryptonians, where there is no sex. You just do a DNA compatibility match and they do test tube babies for you. Or on Demolition Man, Sandra Bullock, Wesley Snipes, and Sylvester Stallone. VR sex. Oh my God. And so yeah, he's the one mighty and strong here. Great power and contending against those who sought to slay him. The man like Moses, section 85. And so the Exodus also. Parting the waters, dry land appears, pass through into the promised land as Moses leads. And the Ark of the Covenant for Jesus, parting of the Jordan River, the priests take the Ark of the Covenant through the waters on dry ground. It's the same thing with sex. Sex ed, but YouTube bans it. Church says no. Abstinence only. Can't teach sex ed. God. And so, yeah, apparently using the right words for women gets them all hot and horny. Are women hot and horny who are listening? Is this true? Please send comments if this is true, that you all of a sudden got hot and horny when I talked about the waters parting and passing through on dry ground with the Ark of the Covenant, the seed of the house of Israel into the promised land. Any of that turning you on? Send me comments. We'll find out if it's true. And they know his first name. Yep, oh my God, this is awesome. So thinking that he's the Great Spirit, Ammon is making ready the horses and the chariots. He's just doing his life. He's going about his normal business. He's nothing special. He's just like you. And the king is surprised. And one of the king's servants said unto him, Rabboni. This is to Ammon, sun god at noonday, the surname Emmanuel of the Mormon Christ. The name, the full name. Is that still on the homepage, the main video? And here it is, the first name, Rabboni. Jesus in John is called by his wife Rabboni. Same word. They use instead of I. That's him. The rabbi of the latter-day crossroads, which is Tau or Chi in Greek. Paleo-Hebrew is Tau, but the phonemes are not a part of that. It's picture language, remember? Alpha, Aleph, over the United States, the 3 days of darkness of the sun god, casting the shadow on the earth. The crossroads of the sun god. That's the full name of the Mormon Christ. And here it is in the Book of Mormon. And they tell us in the beginning, and so we're going to tell you about the real Messiah. Hang on, because it's not Jesus. And so, yeah, isn't this fascinating? And for a space of an hour, which is the time of an eclipse, the king was silent. And so, yeah, he's able to read your minds, so be good for goodness sake. Whoa, somebody's coming. Ghostbusters! Spirit of God. Nobody thought that was funny, huh? Okay, whatever. And so smoting off the arms is also significant because that's also used with the name of Ra in Egyptian. Yeah, let me deal with this. Egyptian god Ra. Yep, there it is. The arm of Ra. Smiting off the arms, that's the arm symbol in the name of Ra. You have the Horus hawk with the sun disk on his head, holding the Ankh of eternal life, and in his sitting position, which is half of the symbol for a foreign land. And then you have the sun symbol with one underneath it, and then you have the mouth symbol, and then you have the arm that's outright in the cupping shape, just like the token in the temple. And the arm has significance as a ray of light, and all things having to do with the arm and what you can do with your arm. So that needs to be understood, as probably I shouldn't have gotten drunk in this video, huh? Yep. And so that's why arms are being chopped off here, because it's a different dynasty of Egypt. The Ra Moseses were the 19th dynasty that replaced the David Moseses of the 18th dynasty with the sun god Ammon for the priesthood of Ammon. Section 107, verses 2, 3, and 4, I think. Why it's called the Melchizedek priesthood. Amen. And so, yeah, I see all sorts of Egyptian stuff in here as well. And yeah, I still have a note saying I got to teach you Egyptian. Child faith. And so you're getting a little bit of it here, but it's just pieces of stuff. It's not an organized lesson format, obviously. And so there's going to be some confusion if you're wanting to learn Egyptian from this video. So it's pretty much a teaser here. 320, okay. Let's see. Then he talks about, believest thou in a God? So they're talking about God. Because Ammon is restoring the kingdom of the David Moseses from the 19th dynasty Ra's, which is also the sun, in case I didn't mention that. It's the sun. And then after the 18th dynasty fell, the 19th dynasty synchronized, whatever the word is, merged them together to become one. So it became Ammon Ra after that. But Ramses, Ra, Moses. It became a different Moses character of a different sun god. The ones who usurped it. And so that's what the scriptures are all talking about, is the restoration of the 18th dynasty, which was a restoration of the previous Old Kingdom dynasty, which was a restoration of an even older thing as well. They themselves lived according to the prophecies and fulfilled them to make sure they happened, and thus repeating the prophecy for the latter days. And Spirit giveth me knowledge. Creations, records of the Holy Scriptures, record of the Jews who were Egyptians, because it's referring to the brass plates in the Book of Mormon. You're supposed to have that understood. Mosiah made sure to teach his sons in Mosiah chapter 4 about from the brass plates, and thus taught them Egyptian and Paleo-Hebrew from the brass plates, which were in Egyptian. Time Lehi, and there it is. He expounded unto them all the records and scriptures from the time that Lehi left Jerusalem down to the present time. So it includes the Joseph Smith papers of Joseph Smith and telling about the history of the Great and Abominable Church to the latter-day current time period. Expounded unto them the plan of redemption, the happiness of Lucifer's plan of happiness. Take away people's agency. When they come to visit you, lock them up, torture them, try to murder them. And so then, after being taught by the true Christ, the King receives the light of everlasting life and sees his Redeemer. It was Ammon the whole time. But this is what Mormons need to be doing and looking for, is their Christ in the latter days. So that they then go, I now understand. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not true. We need to build Zion before 8 April 2024. Oops. Good luck with that. We're now going to have to be in tents, just like Moses was. And then there's going to be Mormons who are going to think, hey, let's build a golden Jesus Christus statue and then have an orgy sex fest. I know better than the man like Moses. Just likening the scriptures. And so after the king gets converted, he goes to the queen, she gets converted. And so likewise in the millennium, Ammon has to have that woman. He needs to get married to her. That's the whole point and purpose of becoming king, and thus there's a queen. And so now it's just going to the queen next. And she says he stinks. He needs to use Old Spice swagger. To me, he does not stink. He's not dead yet. But this is part of the concept of the restoration of the Joseph Smith Church, or the Church of the 18th dynasty, etc., etc., is that Joseph Smith is dead and he needs to be resurrected, just as his church died with him, needs to be resurrected and restored. And that's why they're talking about King Lamoni having died, and the 3 days and nights, for the space of 2 days and 2 nights, and so now it's on the 3rd day now. He is not dead, but sleepeth in God, and on the morrow he shall rise again, on the 3rd day. See what happened here? Right there, verse 8, chapter 19. Doing the same symbolic theme here. And so then he wakes up from his coma and says, I have seen my Redeemer. And so, Mormons will be able to see their Christ, but they won't recognize him because he's one of them. What if God was one of us? That's the theme song in the description below. What if God was one of us? so many controversies. No, it's blasphemy. God's not one of us. He's Hamuzion. And so Mormons reject him because they're looking for some other Christ. They don't know who to look for, and the one they're looking for doesn't exist. And so they'll continually look indefinitely as Nelson laughs at you, as he's being more blatant now about how criminal and fraudulent he is. And I'm just going, oh my God, those bastards. I do a video, and almost the next day they come out with a Church News article saying, yep, we're guilty. What are you going to do about it? Just, oh my God. They've got Mormons by the puppet strings, and they are moving you around. Well, yep. And so, yeah, they're now prophesying of 23rd September 2017, as well as his original birthday on March 17th, 1970. And I've done the video explaining that, and I alluded to it in the video yesterday or the day before about the 17th of March versus 23rd September 2017. Because in 2020, which was the Exodus year, that's when he's going to be 50 years old. That's the Jubilee year of the Jews, the 50th year. That's when the prisoners are set free, and the Exodus is supposed to occur that year. But oops, Mormons wanted to stay in bondage and continue to make Nelson richer with priestcraft. And it's just appalling that Mormons can't see these things, that they're being conned. Church has to be true. So denialism kicks in. Just like a Mormon wife in domestic violent relationships. The marriage has to endure for all eternity, because we were sealed. He's a good man. He didn't mean to beat me. And just want to cry. So, yep, and then the queen, she likewise dies. And so, does it say that her, is it, because then they both die together, which is interesting, because this is 8 April 2024, the Ram constellation in Aries, which is the sacrificial ram, the death sign, as it's called. So yeah, the waters of Sebus also has to do with baptismal symbolisms, because that's the gateway to the temple initiatories, the mysteries of God. And so it's the false authority versus the waters of Mormon, isn't it? For Alma the Younger, or Alma the Senior, who was one of the priests of King Noah. He teaches at the waters of Mormon. And you're supposed to have the connection to that story here. He's a monster! He's coming to torment Mormons! He's kicking the pricks! Their hearts had been changed, Mormons, that they had no more desire to do evil. And they had seen Malachi, and the God of his righteousness, and of his righteousness. Zadok, Melchizedek. Alrighty. So then there's the story of him going to Middoni and to deliver his imprisoned brother and Aaron, wasn't it? Yeah, thy brother Aaron and also Mulakai and Ammon are in prison from the king there. See, Aaron, they don't have the abilities that Ammon does. And so then it's Ammon to the rescue. Alrighty, got that one out of the way. It was 3 weeks I saw. Dear God, it took way too long to get to.